do you know that you have made as much money as your dad this year by writing for TV? And I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. I'm the man of the house now. I got to make my own decision. I was always a funny kid because I was a fat kid and I just wanted friends, right? So that's how I became funny. I got 58% in 12th, like I just got passed. So from my first semester in college, I was already interning. Blog, okay, it was called tanmayology.blogspot.com. If you search for it now, you'll find it somewhere in the recesses of the internet.
As a founder, as a writer, as a producer, as a comedian, as a
I'm Farhan Akhtar of Bangalore, guys.
that's right.
Done everything. Singer, director, producer.
Everything you can think of. He does not need any introduction at all. I wanted to, do this session firstly on popular demand. Secondly, I'm really, really, really curious on how you made your life choices, especially the younger Tanmay, because it's very hard to go against the set path of becoming an engineer in India and then getting a software job and making the big bucks, especially if you are doing very well academically when you were younger. How did you pick this alternate path of being a comedian, and what did that entail early on in your life?
Man, I think, but like, I mean, not doing engineering is fine in theory and all, but probably now engineering is a great opportunity. I think the world engineering jobs are going to be in demand. Um, in hindsight, it seemed to have worked out well, but I was always a funny kid because I was a fat kid and I just wanted friends, right? So that's how I became funny. Um, I just did. I just took every opportunity to do extracurriculars in school, ton of extracurriculars in college. Who's our audience today, Mona? Are these guys in college, just out of college, right?
They are in their final year. They are on their way to getting internships at amazing startups.
Right.
I'm already
Yeah,
some of
great
them.
idea. So I can literally talk about literally what I did in college. Okay.
That's right.
So yeah, college में I did 10th में मेरे को 89% आया, ठीक है. Then dad was like, you got to take science because if you're not a science student, then you're a duffer, right? You're a dull student. And people who are like, okay, I can't be seen taking arts and I'm not competent enough for science, so like we will do commerce and we will still somehow have options. So my dad wanted me to be a marine engineer. And he said, you got to take science. So I went to Mithibai College in Bombay. I took up biology. But through the 2 years, I worked on my social skills. I got funny then. I was the dumbest in my class. I got 58% in 12th, like I just got passed. But those 2 years were vital because I started going on college festivals in those 2 years. When I was in my first year junior college, second year junior college, that's all I did. Then 12th happened and my dad realized that, okay, 50, 58, 59% is not going to get him anything. So I said, okay, what do you really want to do? He asked. I said, I want to do something in the media because I was basically an attention whore. So he said, okay, why don't you try BMM? So I said, okay, I'll do BMM. And I applied to 18 colleges. I got through to National College. And I had the choice between National College and Xavier's, and I picked National College because college 12 baje khatam hota raha. And I realized that post 12, I had the whole day to myself. I could do something. So from my first semester in college, I was already interning. I started writing for this magazine called JLT. It was one of the cooler. JLT and Jam magazine were like the cool ones. So I got into college, and at that point, I heard this Rohan Joshi name. Okay. I kept hearing this name. He was this guy who used to write a column in JLT, very funny guy, had a funny blog. Blog was a new concept then. Blogspot.com was the website, yeah. So I started my own blog, okay. It was called tanmayology.blogspot.com. If you search for it now, you'll find it somewhere in the recesses of the internet. Yeah, working with Disney Channel and so on. So I'll get to that. I'm telling you the whole detail, okay. मैं diary लिख रहा हूँ. अभी तुम लोग को जो लेना है इसमें से ले लो, ठीक है. I started writing blogs. And my sole purpose was that at some point, these funny people who write blogs, whose blogs I follow, they would notice me. The editor of JLT noticed my blog and she left a comment saying, you have my attention, come write. So in my first semester, I was already writing for JLT. I did that for about, 2 years. The JLT office was located in the Times of India building. So every time I had to visit there, I would force myself to go for the edit meets because I could go into the Times of India building. And there I started meeting editors of Femina and, Times of India had a bunch of magazines. So I started freelancing there until, I started met the editor of Mumbai Mirror. I got a column in Mumbai Mirror online because of my time there. Then in the last year of college, I realized that, okay, I'm writing funny columns. Someone called me and said, Miss, why don't you try for Mr. Malhar? I said, yeah, this personality contest thing sounds great. I used to do stand up in school. I used to take Johnny Lever's cassettes and I used to just memorize them and I used to regurgitate them on stage. And as a 8th standard kid who was chubby, who used to tell jokes, everyone used to like that. So I said, okay, I can do these at college festivals. So I started going to these college festivals, and Malhar, I ended up reaching the finale, which I ended up winning. But the judge there was Ronnie Screwvala and Zarina Mehta, who were just starting a channel called Bindas. Bindas was also the sponsor for Malhar. So Ronnie Screwvala reached out later, just after the event, and said, I'm launching this channel called Bindas. Why don't you come write for a stand-up show on Bindas it was called Lagegi. Okay, they were very edgy for that time. So that's how I got my first television writing gig. And compared to Mumbai Mirror, this was paying 5x. So I said, I should just write for television. Like, what am I doing writing for print and all this? Like, print is lame. Print is going to die. So I started writing for television. The production company that made that was Roshan Abbas's production company called Encompass. Roshan Abbas really liked me, so he recommended my name. Then I started writing for Disney. Right? I got opportunities through this thing. And in a world where there were, 30, 35-year-old writers in kurta pajama and etc., I used to go there. Varun Thakur, the comedian, he used to live near my society. He was also a funny guy. So I said, you come write with me. I don't like to work alone. So me and him would go start writing for these TV shows. And I remember by the time I left college, I started making enough money that my CA came and told my CA and my dad's CA were the same. So I remember the last year of college, my dad's CA came and said, do you know that you have made as much money as your dad this year by writing for TV? And I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. I'm the man of the house now. I got to make my own decisions. So then I bought my first car. Then I just wrote for television for 3-4 years because it was really good money until I saw Veer Das on stage and I said, this seems like it's more attention. How can I go for that? Because I had the money saved up from all the television work that I'd done, I could do stand up for 2 years without worrying about money. I just lived off my savings. And once I started working with Veer, I met all the other guys. Rohan and me became friends. Rohan wanted to leave Times Now. He was working as a journalist under Arnab Goswami, and then he wanted to quit because he was working as a journalist under Arnab Goswami. And so I felt really good. It was like serendipitous. I was like, Rohan, I saw your columns and I wanted to be like you. And now today you want to leave your job and you want to work with me to write for television. I was like, life has come full circle. And that's how me and Rohan became friends. Khamba wanted to come to Bombay. He met Veer. Then we happened while we were at Weird Ass Comedy, we started doing the podcast. And then, the aim with that was I just wanted to sell one auditorium because that was the maximum amount of attention you could get. This is before YouTube was a big deal. So we said, okay, let's just start doing a podcast, and we started selling tickets. That's how it all began. So the internship thing is significant because there's a famous Steve Jobs speech, right, about joining the dots in hindsight. Now it makes sense to me because I was like, oh shit, like it's the small decisions that could give you asymmetric returns. And then now we all read Naval and we all know the Naval quote about, asymmetric bets is what everyone should go for. In my case, it was creating media at that point. I used to write blogs, and that got me an opportunity to meet editor of JLT who would have never seen me otherwise.